Hi everyone, Jessica here from Paper Ink Stamp and welcome back to another video. So today's video I'm going to be sharing with you a recent Craftstash haul, but before we get into the new products that I've purchased, I really just wanted to say that today being the 7th of September, I reached my 500 subscriber mark and I am absolutely blown away. I just want to say a really big thank you to everyone who has subscribed. It really does mean a lot to me. It means that I'm able to grow my channel. My goal is to be able to get my channel monetized by the end of the year, and today with the subscriber side of it I have gotten halfway there. So like I said, I really appreciate everyone who likes, who comments, and certainly who subscribes and watches my videos. It really has made a big difference. So if you stick around to the end of the video, I am doing 4 giveaways. Then I'll be showing you what I am going to be giving away to you guys, and I'll tell you exactly how you can enter that giveaway. But for now, let's get into the video. So like I said, this is a Craftstash haul. I've purchased 2 different kinds of products, and I'm really excited actually about both of them. So let's get into the first one. So the first thing I've purchased are these Premier Craft Tools. This is super storage boxes. These are made by Hunkydory. The size is 6x4 inch, and there's actually 3 containers in here. And this is then to store my Prism World of Colour ink pads. Because at the moment, you would have noticed in my video, if you watched my sort of craft room video, that I keep all of these ink pads just loose in this box. And you can see I've got a couple of the mini Altenew cubes in there as well, but this is normally so jam-packed, and it doesn't matter how well I try to organise it. Every time I want to grab a colour, I literally have to, go through and pick up to find the colour I want. But these storage boxes, they are designed to work with these Prism World of Colour ink pads, obviously because they're Hunkydory. So I purchased 2 of these sets of 3, so I've actually got 6 of these in total. So with the Prism World of Colour ink pads, there are 36 ink pads in this range, and obviously 6 containers, so I can fit all 36 of my ink pads into these. So you can see that I pulled these out earlier just because I wanted to see what they look like, and I absolutely love them. I think it's just going to make my life so much easier. So you can see that each box can contain 6 ink pads. They do sort of move around a little bit, but they fit in there so perfectly well. There's just a little clip on the front, and you can lift it up, and you can really easily get then your ink pads out. So I have done my browns with then the yellows, I've done my blues, and I've done my greys. So let's go ahead and do the other 3 as well. The other thing I really love about these is they stack. So I'm kind of moving them around, and they stack perfectly one on top of the other, and they're not going to kind of move about or slip off or fall or anything like that. The other thing you could do as well is obviously label these. I don't have a label maker or anything whether I decide to do that, but obviously the top of it's clear, so I can see what colours are included in here. And you could do a swatch as well. So we are going to look at doing a ink pad swatch as well, just so we can see every colour that we've got. So let's just open up the packaging here. Then we can fill these up with the rest of the colours. So these are the ink pads that I've got left to pop into these storage. So let's do the greens for this one. So we've got apple green, olive green. We're going to go... Let's go Spring Meadow, Ocean Spray, Rainforest. See, then we've got 2 greens left over and only 1 spot. So we're going to go Evergreen in there. So that's then our greens done. Next, let's do our pinks. So let's go with Flamingo Paradise. We'll go Pink Jelly Bean. Camellia Pink, Dusty Rose, let's go Blackcurrant Jam, and Mauve Moments. So that's then our pinks. Then last but not least, let's do our orange and red. So we've got Apricot Sorbet, we'll go Orange Zest, Red Chili, no, let's do Fire Coral, then Red Chili, and then Red Brick. So we've still got this green, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pull the Purple Velvet out of that one. I'm going to do just a little bit of reorganising. I'm going to go, I know one of these is a little bit redder. Let's put Camellia Pink in with the orange and reds. I'm then going to do the Purple Velvet in with our purples and pinks. And then I'm going to go Peacock Green in with the blues. And like I said, they just stack so perfectly together. And like I said, they're not very thick at all. So they might even then fit in a drawer if you wanted to put those in a drawer. And I probably, if I wanted to, I could, I'm going to go that way. I could probably fit sort of 5 in there. So now we've filled in all of these storages. So we've got, like I said, 36 ink pads. I've kept them as much as I can within the colour families. And it's just going to make life so much easier when I'm doing a project and I literally just want to say, oh, I just want a pink shade. These are the pinks I've got. And it's not, I'm not going to then forget about a shade because it's stuck at the bottom of the tray. Those are my Premier Craft Tool Super Storage boxes for my Prism World of Colour ink pads. I will pop a link to everything down below. I believe it was a pack of 3 for round about £6 or £7. But again, I will pop a link to the Craftstash website down below. So that's our storages, but staying just on the topic of these Prism World of Colour ink pads, what I really wanted to do was to have some colour swatches just so I can see exactly what colour is what, because especially with some of these new ones, so we've got this pink Flamingo Paradise, pink Jelly Bean, I know the mauve is a colour sort of that I can picture in my head, but sometimes it's quite hard to sort of remember what colour, what exact colour it's going to be. So I did have a quick look online and I did find these Prism World of Colour ink pads, sort of ink swatches. So there is an A3 size PDF on their website that you can download and print, and it's got all 36 of these colours. However, for whatever reason, my laptop wouldn't let me download it and print it, so I just kind of gave up with it. But this sheet, this top sheet here, this is the original colours. And then they did have this additional sheet, which I actually thought was then all of those extra colours, but they're not. There's a couple of sort of repeats of the old ones on here and a lot of not of the new ones, but there's enough spaces on here for me to add the new colours. So what I thought we'd do is, just while we've got this in our new storage solution, is I thought then we would just do a really quick colour swatch. So let's start with our older colours first, and let's start with our pinks. So the first one we've got is Dusty Rose. So all I'm going to do is just straight ink pad to paper. So this paper I've printed onto, this is 160 GSM, and this is just sort of a regular white cardstock. So this is sort of very similar cardstock to what I would usually use. So all I'm going to do is just something like that. So that's our Dusty Rose. Then our Blackcurrant Jam is just here. And I'm just doing sort of 2 swipes. And then our Purple Velvet just next to it. So I can already see sort of those 3 colours, they were the original colours, but I can see exactly what they're going to look like. So let's just move that out of the way. So let's see on here. So Flamingo Paradise is on this one. So again, that's I don't even know if I would say that was pink. It is quite a coral kind of colour. We've also got Pink Jelly Bean, and that one is incredibly light. I'm actually going to change that to be Mauve Moment, and this is that is a favourite one of mine. And all I'm going to do is just cross that out. I'm just going to write underneath, and that's our pink stone. Then let's go in with the blues. So we've got Arctic Mist. Now when I purchased Arctic Mist to begin with, this colour has never really worked. I could really do with getting a new one because I've never really got a much colour, unless maybe that's how it's supposed to be, but I found the pad was just a little bit dry. Then we've got Blue Lagoon. Blue Lagoon is one of my favourites. Nautical Blue was part of the new range. Then we've got French Navy, which is that beautiful dark colour. And then we've got Peacock Green in here as well, which is just up here. And then, so let's go back to our new one. So Periwinkle isn't on here. So I'm actually just gonna add that to the bottom. And the Nautical Blue isn't either. So I'm actually just gonna add that there. So this was, no, wasn't Arctic Mist, it was Periwinkle. So that one is Periwinkle. Let's cross out Olive Green because that was one of the old colours, and then we will put in here Nautical Blue. You can make this as neat or as tidy as you want to. I'm not particularly worried about what it kind of looks like. This is just for my own benefit. So that's our blues. Then we've got sort of browns, but sort of dark grey colours. So we've got Cherry Walnut, which I guess looking at it now is a little bit more sort of a red brown. I always kind of just put it in with the browns, but it isn't really. Then we've got Grey Mill. Not one that I sort of use very often. Then we've got a Thundercloud, Slate Grey, and then Midnight Black. I find not sort of a solid black colour. I don't use that one very often. So the only extra one that I had on here is this Wild Mushroom. And this Wild Mushroom is sort of one of my favourites. So because we've got Rainforest Green here, we've already got one that's part of our old collection, so let's put it on the end. So that one is Wild Mushroom. Next up we have our yellows and browns. So we've got Canary Yellow. I think my yellow is sort of getting a little bit low. Then we've got Jersey Cream. Then we've got Butterscotch, Cinnamon Swirl, Smoked Paprika, and Roasted Coffee. So nothing new in that line. Then we've got our orange and red. So Apricot Sorbet was the new one. We've got Orange Zest, which is that beautiful, really bright orange. We've got Fire Coral, that was new. Red Chili. Red Brick was new, and Camilla Pink was new as well. So let's take a look. So we've got Apricot Sorbet. That has a spot just there. Red Coral. So Red Brick wasn't on here, so let's just put Red Brick there. And Camilla Pink is a real bright sort of hot pink. So let's just change this one. So that was our Red Brick. Then all the rest was still in the same colour. And then the last one we've got is our green. So Green Apple, start with this one. That was an original colour. So mine, I don't know if you can see that. I'm not quite sure what's happened. I need to get a new one. It also smells a little funny as well. I don't know, maybe if I've gotten something on it that I shouldn't have. If you do know what's caused this, leave me a comment in the description down below just to make sure I don't do it to any of my other pads. The next one we've got Olive Green. So Spring Meadow and Ocean Spray was part of the new set. Rainforest Green is one I use quite often. And then we've got Evergreen as well. So that is then filled up all of our original colours. So let's just bring this back. So we had Spring Meadow, so our greens aren't going to be next to each other, but it doesn't really matter. So we've got Spring Meadow there, sorry. And then this one is Ocean Spray. that's all of our new colours that we purchased, and that was in one of my last craft hauls as well, where I purchased those new colours. So I can just keep this to the side, and I know obviously I do use this kind of paper, so it's good to do it on a paper that you do use your ink pads on. I know you might not necessarily do ink straight to paper, but you get a really good idea of what that colour is going to look like. And again, so these are then those new colours that were added. And it's just a really fantastic sort of addition to what was already a really great set of colours. So that is our first product from the haul. So again, it's these super storage ink pad cases. Absolutely love them. But let's now move on to the second item, or items should I say, that I purchased within this Craftstash haul. Okay, so I have left these in the bag. They're all still in the packaging, but just to give you an idea of what we've got. So it was quite a haul. But I am super excited. So I bought all but 4, so there was 4 colours that are currently out of stock, but I've bought the rest of the TriBlend markers to finish off the set of alcohol markers that I've already got. So you guys know these are my alcohol marker of choice because they are just so easy to use. You've got your light, medium and dark within one pen, and you can just, you don't have to worry about anything, you don't have to think about what colours you're blending together. Everything is done, all the hard work has been done for you, and it's just absolutely perfect. So the one thing I will say before we take a look at these is, so when I did my previous video about these markers, I just kind of talked through the pens, why I like them, gave a little bit of demonstration with them. Someone had left a comment asking whether you could refill these, and I didn't think that you were able to. Someone then not that long ago left a comment again to say actually yes you could, because they've got the actual, so this one is EB5, so that's Earth Browns 5, 6 and 7, I believe that's Earth Brown. That you could then get the alcohol refills for the actual regular Spectrum Noir alcohol markers, and you could refill these. So I do have a couple that have run out. So for example, my Earth Brown blend pen, the light colour, because obviously that's the colour you use the most, that has actually run out. So I got all excited, I sort of researched it a little bit, and I was going to then purchase the refills. Someone had let me know a couple of days ago that actually it wasn't really the same shades, you couldn't that it probably wasn't best to refill them. So obviously I didn't buy any of the alcohol markers that I actually needed to stock up on, because my only issue is now that I'm getting to the point where some of them are starting to run out is, do you buy a whole new pen when you only need one end? It means then you're going to have essentially 2 pens kind of sat there because you don't use them as much. So I'm not really sure what to do at this point. If you've got any suggestions, leave them in the comment section down below. But I'm hoping that I've got enough colours here now with the rest of the range, because they're all brand new. Hopefully, yes, I'm not going to notice as much. Maybe I could just find a different colour to blend with. But yeah, I'm just not 100% sure what I'm going to do. But anyway, let's take a look at these colours. So here is just a selection of the pens. So there are 20 pens here today. Like I said, there was 4 that were out of stock. I already had 24, and there's 48 pens in total. So I really wanted to get the rest of this set because I was kind of getting to the point where I was a little bit limited with the colours that I had. So recently I've been doing a lot of sort of autumn themed videos. Obviously that's what's coming out with the magazines at the moment, is autumn themed, you know, stamps and dies and things like that. And I kind of only really had sort of 3 colours that I was using. I am starting to make some Christmas cards and just some other cards generally, and I kind of felt like, again, I was getting just a little bit limited. So I did decide then to purchase the rest of the set. So when I purchased this, it was over bank holiday. They had an extra 10% off, so I think I ended up saving about £8 something, which essentially was like 2 pens free, really. So we're gonna get all of these out. We're gonna just have a little go at them. I do really love the packaging, and I always hope like that it is this color that you see on the packaging, because some of them are really beautiful. So when I was looking at these pens, I got a little bit confused to begin with. So let me just grab one of my original pens. So this pen here, for example, this is Jade Green Blend. So when I then had to go through, make sure I wasn't ordering any doubles. So then when I was looking at it, so this is my original, this is Jade Green Blend, and this one is Jade Green Shades. So I thought it was just going to be a whole new set of colours, which some of them it is. So like this one, for example, this is Dusty Purple Blend. So that is sort of its own colour family, but some of them are now just extensions of some of the original colours. So you've got this one here, so the true blue shades, you've got golden brown shades, we've got blue turquoise shades. So again, they are sort of the next colours down. So this is JG1, 2 and 3. This one is 4, 5 and 6. So you could, I guess, you could mix, maybe if you wanted sort of 3, 4 and 5, you could mix those together. But like I said, they are just that extension of that particular shade. So earlier, before I sat down to do this video, I was looking again, so we've done that swatch sheet for the ink pads. I was looking for a sort of a colour chart to be able to use these markers, and then we'd be able to see exactly what the colours were. There is one for the Spectrum Noir pens, but I couldn't find one to actually print and colour, and I did find some blank ones, but for whatever reason I couldn't find sort of the original picture. If anyone does have that, again, if you leave that in the comments, that would be super helpful to me, because I would love to know sort of before I'm picking them, to make sure I'm picking the right colours. But we're just going to sort of sample them just on some cards, just to see what the colours actually look like. So yeah, if you are going to be ordering extra pens, just make sure that you're not ordering doubles. So like I said, you've got Jade Green Blends, you've got the blends, and you've got then the shades. So what I'm going to do now is, just off camera, I'm going to take all of these out of the packaging, then we can have a little go at colouring with them, just to see what kind of colours we've got in here. So these are all of the pens out of the packaging, bar one. So I thought I'd just show you the packaging quickly, and then sort of just, you know, what comes included with it. So again, so on the front, 3-in-1 for a controlled blend, non-toxic alcohol based, and this is brown grey shades. So I have been using this brown grey shade just a little bit more recently. Then on the back, obviously it's showing you the 3 pens and sort of how they're housed. Then you've got a part of the Spectrum Noir colouring system. So this is a BG5, 6 and 7, gives you just sort of a little bit of a colour guide there, and it does say blending instructions included. So there is sort of a bit of a perforation just here on the back. So all I did was just push forward on the top, and it just sort of opens, almost like taking a toothbrush out for the first time. So let's just... So it has got a little sheet with it. So it just puts out, it's got a little bit of tape on there as well, just to hold it in. But now my bin is filled with these. So let's take a look at what it says. So you've got just a little bit of instruction. So how to achieve a smooth blend. 1. Apply the light colour over the whole area. Use the dark colour to indicate areas of shadow. Use the medium colour to slightly overcolour the dark colour and blend in. Then reapply the light colour, this time slightly overcolouring the medium colour for a smooth graduation. So obviously this is what I was saying earlier with some of my pens, like I said, that I'm starting to run out of, because then you use the light side twice, you put that base colour down, you then go back over sort of that lighter section afterwards. You're kind of using your light maybe sort of like 1.5 times more than what you do with your others. So it is going to be the light end that is going to sort of run out first. But like I said, if then you run out of your light, so you could buy another pen. These two are still okay, so you can just sort of attach it so you've got a new light end. But then if you're always going to run out of your light before your medium dark, all you're going to do is have loads of medium and dark pens sat around. So again, if anyone's got any ideas or knows, you know, what you can do easier, obviously I don't think at this point now that you can refill these or if it's a good idea. I have got some of these sort of original Spectrum Noir alcohol markers, so what I might do after we've had a look at the new colours here, I might get those out, see if I can find sort of 3 that match one of these pens and sort of compare them side by side. But let's take a look at the actual colours themselves. Okay, so I've got just some regular Ink Me cardstock. This is the cardstock that I do like to use. I've just pulled out the new sort of brown pens. So we've got 4 shades. So these are the ones that are kind of extension of existing colours. Now we've got 2 new blends. So we've got Brown Earth, Tan, Golden Brown and Brown Grey. They're all the shades, the extensions. And then these 2 we've got Red Brown Blend and Muted Brown Blend. So what I'm going to do at the same time is kind of label this. So I am going to kind of do my own sort of alcohol swatch. So I'm going to start with that red brown blend. So I'm just going to do RB at the top. And then let's have a go. So we'll go from the light. Then we'll go medium. So I'm already seeing, you know, real where I'm going to be using this, where I need sort of those extra sort of brown shades. So we'll just let that sort of sink in a little bit. But again, so what was that? That was the red browns. You can, you know, you can kind of see maybe a little bit of reddish muted in there. I don't know. So the next one we're going to do is a muted brown. So that's MB. And again, so let's go. Oh, you can definitely see a little bit more red tone sort of next to this one. So medium. And get the right end. Then we're into that dark. So real nice sort of dark. So I'm only going to sort of shade over just with it overlap. I'm not going to do any more than that. But even this one, you can see it's sort of, you know, colouring back a little bit, and you're getting a really nice finish there. So that's those 2. So let's now look at these. So let's do our earth brown. So let me find, so my earth brown is the one where I've ran out basically of EB1, so earth brown 1. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue all the way down so we can see exactly how it progresses. So this is the original. So you can see very scarce there. Then sort of going into that medium. Into the dark. So this is probably my most popular brown that I do use. Then, so now we're going to go into EB5. So it is sort of skipping if there is an EB4, I don't know. So that's that light colour. That's the medium. And that's that real dark. But again, I think that is a really great blend sort of between those, and even then sort of going from that dark. So if we just let that sort of sit back a little bit, you can quite clearly see, so we've got, so we just check, so we've got 1, 2, 3, and then we've got 5, 6, 7. So again, if you wanted just that sort of middle section there, or even I could cut out that sort of lighter one, so maybe it doesn't matter as much that my EB1 has sort of ran dry a little bit, because I could start from 2, I could go 2, 3, 4, and just generally have a darker blend. But I think that's a really beautiful kind of just continuation there, and that is earth brown. So let's move on, let's do our tan shades. So again, we have got TN, that one is. So again, we've got our original, so this is TN 1, 2 and 4 here. So this one's getting a little bit sparse as well. So there's 1, there's 2, and then 4. Then on here we've got 6, 8 and 9, so it sort of jumps on this one. So this is 6. So that's quite a jump there. So hopefully that will blend nicely. That's from 6. You've got 6 there, 8, and then going into 9. But again, that's actually a really beautiful colour though. So let's shade there and then go back to number 4. So again, what's going to be really brilliant, like I just said, is the fact that you can cut out some of those first colours and you could jump straight into sort of, you could go 5, 6, 8, if that was the particular kind of colour that you wanted. So let's look at the next one. This is the golden brown. So this is GB. So here we have got 1, 3 and 5, and this one is 6, 7 and 10. So let's start. Again, this one, you can see I've sort of been going through these quite a bit, but obviously I do a lot of sort of, if I'm colouring sort of hair, you know, people, skin, things like that, that's where you tend to use a lot of it. And again, at the moment, doing those kind of autumn cards, sort of using a lot more of these brown shades. So again, that is 1, 3 and 5, and then we're going 6, 7 and 10. So let's have a look at this. So a nice sort of dark, and into our medium. So I think this is going to be a nice sort of combination, this one. And then again, a really dark golden brown. The last one is the brown grey, and again, this is one that I've actually been reaching for a lot recently, which is sort of a little bit of a surprise. So go blend. So this is 2, 3 and 4, and then this new one is 5, 6 and 7. So that one does just sort of go up quite easily. So that is 1. And obviously this is then stepping into, I would say, more into the greys, sort of coming out of those browns. So that is, 2, 3 and 4. So now let's go 5. Oh, 5, 6, and a nice dark in the 7. So once again, a really fabulous range now of colours. So I think getting these extra pens is really, really going to make a difference to the colours I've already got. So what I'm going to do now is, just so we don't spend ages and this video becomes super long, what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on what I'm doing, but I am just going to speed it up. I'll just play a little bit of music behind, and then we can look at all of the colours at the end, and then we can I can kind of look at which ones sort of now turning out to be my favourite. So that is our colour swatch done, and to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not 100% sure why I haven't done this sooner, because this would have just made my life so much easier. Obviously during that sort of speed through, then you can see here that just on the alcohol marker I think I picked up a little bit of that biro, and there was a little bit sort of on the nib, but I just kind of wiped it on a little bit of scrap paper and it came off absolutely fine, nothing wrong with the pen. So there are a couple of colours that I'm a bit like, meh, I'm not really bothered about that particular colour, and there are a few that I am absolutely loving. So obviously we've already talked through sort of the browns going into the greys. When it came to the true blue colours, that very sort of lightest one never worked sort of perfectly for me even when I purchased it, but I really love those sort of additional blues going into those really deep blues that it's given us. Same with the blue turquoise shades as well. I have sort of found that I've picked up these sort of turquoise and jades colours a little bit more recently, so I think that's a really fantastic addition. The alpine green I absolutely love, so I think it's a little bit, I think there needs to be a little bit more in the green family. So again, the same with this light green, that very light shade never worked perfectly when I first purchased the pen, so I never really used that one very much, and I do always use that green citrus quite often, but I like then having that alpine in there as well. I think that's going to give some really great variety. Obviously nothing's changed to the yellows. I don't know really if you could sort of change anything with the yellows. That yellow green, sorry, is a bit of a funny colour. I'd have to see what kind of projects I use that on. I'm not 100% on those. Again, that jade green, that extension colour there, I do really love. Like I said, there are 4 colours that I am missing. I know off the top of my head one of them is the burnt orange, and I am looking forward to having another addition in with the orange family, because just having one, I mean, hopefully that burnt orange is going to be a really lovely colour, but really I'm going to have to see when I do sort of purchase that one. But I wish there was a little bit more within sort of the orange and the red. I love that addition to the red family. It's just going to kind of extend that a little bit further, but again, it would be nice to have, I don't know, something maybe just a little bit extra within there. So CR with the coral, I do love the coral. It does sort of work in with that orange. It'd be nice to have sort of a coral orange, or something sort of in between those two. Obviously the biggest increase in colour that I've seen is then within the purple, sort of really the purples, but and sort of the pink colours as well. This antique pink I think is beautiful. I was hoping for a little bit more with that vintage blue. It is kind of more like that blue grey, a little bit, obviously it's more on the blue side. I think I was hoping for a little bit more with that, but I do love this antique. Obviously the pales have extended, which is nice. You've got that extra bit of dark there. The bright pinks, I never really used. This was too much like a highlighter for me, but you know, this new shades, I think especially those bottom two, I probably would use those a little bit more. And then of course we've got just sort of the ones that was from the first set. So you've got the lavender, the purple, DP, I can't remember off the top of my head, dusky purple. I am loving that as well. Again, it sort of fits really nicely with that vintage pink. The magenta, I don't know why I thought that was going to be more purple than pink, but I'd probably use that magenta blend maybe more so than this bright pinks. And then we have got this one here, which was that pink violet. And again, that's very much an okay colour going in with that sort of purple family. So overall, I am really impressed with the colour range. Like I said, I'm not sure why I didn't do this sooner, because it's a really great indication. I can kind of then pick and choose the colours that I want. Like I said, I do need to check the extra 4. And like I said, I know one of them is the burnt orange, but I can't remember where the other ones sort of come in within the colour families. For me personally though, like I said, maybe a little bit more on the green side, a little bit more within this kind of coral orange red would be nice. But other than that, there is now a really fantastic range within these TriBlend Spectrum Noir pens. Like I said, I will leave a link to everything down below in the description. Like I said, I've purchased these from Craftstash, so if you do want to check that out, like I said, check out the description down below. So that's going to be it for the pens. I did mention earlier that I was going to kind of try and match up maybe a couple of these pens with the regular Spectrum Noir pens, but what I think I might do is leave that for another video because I don't want this one obviously to be too long. So I might do another video like I did my previous video, just looking at the Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. I might even get a couple more images that we can colour in, and just using obviously this bigger range of colours that we have now got. Like I said, then we can do that test of seeing if we can sort of match up those regular alcohol markers with our TriBlend markers. Like I did say earlier, if you have got a solution to these running out, please let me know in the comment section down below, because again, I'm just really at this point not sure what it is that I'm going to do. So that is my craft haul for today. So again, we had those TriBlend markers, and we also had then our Prism World of Colours storage for our ink pads, which I absolutely love. The last thing we're gonna just quickly talk about in this video, like I said at the beginning, was I wanted to give a couple of giveaways for reaching that 500 subscriber mark. Like I said, I'm so thankful that you guys do subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Like I said, I want by the end of the year to be able to monetize my channel. That is my goal. That will then really help support this channel, the products that I buy, and then just be able to buy some extra things as well. So let me show you what I've got set aside as my 4 giveaways. So I'm just going to show you one at the moment. So I am giving away some of the older issues of the Simply Cut and Papercraft. I've got 2 Simply Cut and Papercraft, and I've got 2 Die Cutting Essential magazines. So this is going to be sets that I haven't used, they haven't been opened. So for example, this one is issue 198, and it comes with this Simply Made Crafts Sent with Love, and this is a 26 piece tag, die and stamp set, so you can make really beautiful tags, whether they're circular or whether they're obviously just regular tag shape. This is going to be perfect coming up for Christmas, because there is a winter wishes sentiment that you can build in here, and also there's a couple of snowflakes as well. So that is just sort of one of them that I'm looking to give away, and again, lots of cards as well. So these are going to include cards from previous videos and cards that I've just made myself. So I really hope you guys will join this little giveaway that I am doing, like I said, to celebrate then getting to that 500 subscriber mark. So if you do want to enter, what you need to do is like this video, leave a comment down below just saying please enter me. Of course, please subscribe to my channel. So my next video, which will be on Thursday, I will announce who is going to be the lucky receivers of the 4 different sort of sets that I have put together. So that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, thank you so much for everyone who is subscribing and leaving comments and liking. Like I said, it does really help. Having said that, if you did like this particular video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. And again, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks very much, and happy crafting!